We're not the first folks to talk about this, Mr. Chairman. It's been a source of debate in our country since the writing of the Constitution. And in the first 20, 25 years after the Constitution was ratified, people struggled with what this means, exactly what this means. They went to the list of enumerated powers under Section 8 of Article 1. And you all have heard this: to borrow money, to regulate commerce, to constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court, to punish piracies, to provide and maintain a navy, to make rules for the government, to provide for calling forth the militia. There's a lot of very specific enumerated powers. But, Mr. President, it also says to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department of office or officer thereof. That necessary and proper clause is the big thing that people fought about in around 1819, 1818. They fought like dogs about that, to be honest, and state legislators were mad, they were angry, they were very disappointed that Congress was exceeding the Section 8 powers. They wrote all sorts of treaties. They took the United States to task and took a case to the Supreme Court, and it was McCulloch versus Maryland, and that had to do with the national bank. And everybody said we need a bank. We all agree we need a bank. Pretty much everybody agreed on that. But they didn't agree that Congress had the power to establish a bank. And that's what the Supreme Court litigated, Mr. Chairman. John Marshall was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And he wrote, the court ruled that the bank indeed was necessary and proper. And they wrote volumes about what does necessary really mean? Does it mean like absolute necessary, no other alternative? And they talked about what is proper. And they grappled with this and grappled with this, and they came out and said, necessary doesn't mean absolutely the last resort. And so that was a tool for the court through interpretation. And you don't want anybody else interpreting the law. You don't want the legislature interpreting the law or the states interpreting the law. You want the courts. That's why they're there. That's their job. And they're elected, or they're not elected, they're selected to be immune from public opinion so they can do a good job. But they said the bank was necessary and proper for the conduction of business of the United States of America. Big thing. Now it's going on and on and on, and there are volumes of opinions. But the Congress now, because the Supreme Court has ruled, they can't change that. They can't change the meaning of the Constitution. The Congress can't do that except for by amendment. State legislators can't either, except for by the Article 5. So if we have areas that we feel that the interpretations by the court legitimately entered into have gone too far, we only have one recourse. There's actually two. We could get the Congress of the United States to propose the amendment. And I think that was discussed. But we all know that the Congress is a political animal. Just by its nature, it is. So, Mr. Chairman, I think it comes down to the powers given in Article 5 to our state legislatures. We need to do this. We are mighty because we constitute one of 13 states that could say no. And I have no doubt that that power will be used mightily and wisely. But I also think this exercise would be very good for the United States of America. We talk about our founders. We talk about what government should and should not be doing. And we would realize that in delegates appointed by state legislatures all across our great land, a true rebirth of the country, Mr. Chairman. And so I'm encouraged by this, and I thank you for your indulgence.